everyone. My name is Chloe Glenn. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Recruitment at the University at Albany Graduate School. Today, I'm going to be talking about writing a personal statement for the graduate school application. I'm so excited to be talking to you all today. I visited Korea about 10 years ago, and it's just one of my favorite places. Just wonderful, wonderful people, and just the most beautiful country. So I'm really honored to be here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation real quick. See if it'll come up. Oh, I think I need to have screen sharing set up. There we go. Perfect. All right. Okay, so what we'll be going over today is, first of all, what is a personal statement? I'm sure most of you already know kind of the basics of it. You've heard about them before, but we'll kind of go over kind of the characteristics of the personal statement, the elements of it, kind of having a balance between past and future when you're writing the personal statement, and then keeping in mind what could be discussed during the review committee. So when you submit these applications, again, what the review committees are looking for, what they may want to discuss, and then the do's and don'ts and things to consider. So the first thing I want to go over is everyone has probably heard, obviously, of the personal statement or the statement of purpose. So a lot of times these are used interchangeably in some instances. So sometimes they can mean close to the same thing. But there is a slight differentiation between them. So it's always really important, if you get nothing else from this presentation, is to please look at the instructions in your specific university that you're applying to. So obviously there will be application instructions that will guide you through the steps of the application process. And in these instances, you want to make sure what type of statement they're asking for. So are they asking for a personal statement, or are they asking for a statement of purpose? So a personal statement is exactly as it sounds. It's based more on your personal experiences in life. So what inspired you to go for a certain academic field or have certain career interests. The main focus is not always going to be your academics or your professional experience. Obviously, you can bring that stuff in. It's encouraged to bring that in. But again, it's going to be focused more on your experiences. And then statement of purpose, it's focused more on academic and professional, such as research or learning goals. This may be more often what you'll see in a lot of graduate school applications, is they really want you to understand, again, your goals for the program, your goals after you graduate. So again, it may include some personal experiences. That's totally, again, okay to include that, but it's not the primary goal of the essay. So for this particular presentation, I'm going to refer to all of these essays just as personal statements. But again, these can definitely apply to statements of purpose too. So more often than not, I'll just call it the statement or the essay so that we don't get too confused when we're discussing this. So the purpose of these statements, normally they are very short documents. So you're not going to be writing a huge essay. The only time you could be writing a longer essay is oftentimes, for some reason in the United States, social work programs will often have longer essays. Sometimes public health programs will as well. PhD programs will sometimes they will require a longer essay, but more often than not, it's just going to be a 1 to 2 page essay outlining who you are and why you're applying to the program. It is your chance to speak directly to the admissions committee. So it's really a great opportunity for you to kind of control that message and what you're getting across and what you want to present to who is going to be reviewing your application. If you're really uncertain as to where to start, obviously we'll kind of go over where to start and how to start planning these essays. But something that you can look at, our university has a career and professional development office, and they have some free resources online. One of their resources is called a thought outline, and it can be kind of helpful just to organize, again, the different parts of the personal statement, just to start the outline, start getting your thoughts kind of moving, because sometimes that can be a little difficult to know where to start and where to begin. So I can put this link into the chat when we're done, just so you have this. It's just kind of a helpful resource to get yourself started. So again, it is the purpose of this document is to communicate your goals to the review committee. So you only have about 1 to 2 pages to do this. So it seems like kind of a lot, but when you start writing, it's not going to be. It's going to go very quickly. So you will really have to make sure that your essay is concise, that it tells a clear story, that it's not jumping around from topic to topic. And again, it kind of has that very clear flow. So it's going to be different for everyone. So there's no perfect or set formula for a personal statement. It, again, doesn't follow any particular formula, but there are some tips that you can use to make your essay shine a little bit more. So throughout the writing process, it's going to be a reflection of yourself, just kind of an honest and positive reflection about your experiences, and again, what led you to applying to graduate school. So the characteristics of most of these statements is going to be that the statement is accurate, personal, and professional. So obviously, accuracy and authenticity are number one in this document. That's kind of the main purpose of it. So writing the truth about yourself and your goals. I know some students have in the past used AI to help them write this essay. I would not encourage that just because it's a personal statement. You know, the computer can't really tell you about who you are necessarily. So really these statements are coming from you. AI can be very helpful to set up maybe an outline for your essay. That is often what a lot of students do, is just help with the outline, help to maybe see it more clearly on the page. But in the end, the writing process, it should be your thoughts. It should be coming from you. Don't oversell or undersell yourself. So again, don't exaggerate any qualifications, but also don't downplay your great experiences, your unique experiences, your unique story. So again, the accuracy is really, really important in this essay. So again, keeping it accurate and authentic. You might be applying to a program that is not aligned with your long-term goals or a good fit. So you know, again, really making sure that you are choosing a program that fits your goals. So even before you start this process of writing the personal statement, please do research on the university that you're applying to. Don't just go by ranking. Ranking is a wonderful way to narrow down your choices, but it's not going to be the only thing that is going to be part of the process of choosing. You may be choosing a university based on the resources that they have on campus, the support they have on campus, the type of research they're doing, the type of faculty that are there. So there are a lot of different aspects or different you know, things that might be of value to you when you're choosing a university. So in that instance, it's not just about one thing. So make sure you are doing some research about the university, obviously, before you apply. And it will also help your statement because it will allow you to communicate to the review committee about why you are choosing that particular university. So statements are personal as well. So obviously the personal statement emphasizes that it is a representation of you. This means being specific and including concrete details about who you are, your goals, your reasons for applying. Keep the focus of the document on you. So don't compare yourself to other applicants, and do not write exclusively about the merits of the program. You can definitely mention that. Obviously, you know, the school wants to know why specifically you've chose that particular university to apply to, but you don't have to spend the whole essay writing about that. And it does have to be in a more formal format in terms of how it is written. So just because it's a statement about you, it's going to still have that academic writing. It's going to still sound like an academic essay. And then again, for graduate study especially, it's a really professional endeavor. So make sure that the statement is in a professional tone, proofread any typos, use correct grammar, that sort of thing. If you have anyone who can look over your essay after you've written it, I would highly recommend that. 1 to 2 people is usually ideal. So if you have an advisor, if you have a trusted professor, someone to look over this essay before you submit it, that can be very helpful. So the elements of the personal statement, so some, again, common elements, and it does not have to be in this order. This is just an example. Obviously, it's going to include an introduction, your motivation for applying, your experience and qualifications, aspirations or goals for the future, why this particular university is a good fit for you, why you chose that program, and then your long-term vision, so what you intend to do after you graduate in your particular career. You don't have to include all of these elements. Again, it's just an example. You may just want to address some of these in your essay. And then just, again, make sure that you are consulting the application instructions because they may have their own prompts. They may have their own questions that they want you to address in their essay. So always make sure you are checking those instructions on the university website before you start this process. So you're going to try to get a balance between your future and your past in this essay. So you're going to be focusing obviously on your future, your goals, purpose and direction, what you hope to achieve through this program and after you complete it. And then you're going to talk a lot about maybe your commitment to learning and growth. So most universities are not going to expect applicants to know everything. Obviously, you wouldn't be applying to a graduate program if you already knew everything about that particular topic. So they are not looking for perfection when you communicate this information. They are looking for someone who has the potential to learn and develop through the program. So that's what you're going to want to communicate is your curiosity, your interest in learning, your enthusiasm for learning. That's a big part of what these essays hope to show. So it's also going to be summarizing your past, so what you learned previously, the skills that help you qualify for a particular program, why you want to do a certain type of work, what other past experiences have helped kind of get you to this place of wanting to apply for graduate school. Ideally, your qualifications should align with the program emphasis. So if it's research oriented, hopefully you do have some research experience in the past. Usually, you don't have to, again, know everything, but maybe some experience could be very helpful to you. If you are applying to maybe a different program, so let's say you did a undergraduate or bachelor's degree in political science, and then you want to go for a graduate degree in social work, let's say. So if your undergraduate degree or past experiences are not related to the program that you're applying to, you're going to really want to focus on those transferable skills. So skills that you learned in the past that still apply to the program that you're going into. So there are things about political science that can obviously be translated into the field of social work. It can kind of go back and forth. So thinking about those skills, thinking about what you learned. Is it communication? Is it organization? Is it the ability to balance multiple tasks at once? Is it research skills? So those are the things that you're going to be want to focus on if you are making a change between your undergraduate and graduate career. And you can do this with a lot of programs. It's not, a lot of universities are totally okay with that, but always make sure, again, you're looking at the prerequisites of the program, that you have everything set up before you apply. And then when you're writing the personal statement, so kind of brainstorming and generating ideas. So writing down, again, what is most relevant. So this is kind of a time where you're doing a lot of free writing, where you're just making lists. So you can maybe list your experiences, positions you've held, classes you've taken that maybe sparked your curiosity in a particular field or sparked your curiosity to go to graduate school. The skills that you've learned across your career. So do you know any coding or programming, lab skills, language proficiency, research skills, and then what your attributes are. So, do you have really strong work ethic, attention to detail? If you're struggling to brainstorm, especially some of the attributes, some people are kind of hard on themselves. So if you're struggling to find, this information or kind of get this information, talking to mentors or professors, what they consider your best qualities, your best skills, what they've noticed in the classroom, what you contributed to the classroom. So you can absolutely talk to other people as you're writing this statement and kind of get their view on maybe what you could include. So the opening sentence of the personal statement or your essay, it sometimes confuses some people, or they're not sure how to start or, open the statement. So some people choose to use quotes from maybe a historical figure or literature. I see this quite a bit in essays. Sometimes this can distract from your message. So unless it is really applicable, the quote is really applicable to your field of study, to what you're going into. If it distracts from your overall message, I would say don't include it. So again, unless the quote is really, really specific to what you're going into, the field you're going into, then maybe not including it. So thinking about your audience, again, it's going to be usually admissions committee members. It's going to be faculty, especially at the graduate level. It's going to be a lot of faculty, professors that are within your chosen field that are going to be reviewing this essay. So opening sentences usually very brief, engaging, and clear, and they introduce the rest of the essay. So an example is if you were applying, let's say, for a archaeology program. So this is just an example here that, again, just kind of opens the essay, allows you to kind of put emphasis on where you would like the essay to go, and again, showing the review committee kind of what you'll be talking about. So it's usually very brief, and again, not needing to put so much pressure on yourself just for the opening. And then writing the statement, writing first, then edit. So again, no one needs to read your first attempt. So you will probably go through multiple drafts of this essay. So it's okay for the first few drafts to be flawed, disorganized. That's kind of the process. So it's much easier to, again, edit it, talk to, again, trusted advisor, talk to a teacher, see if they would review it for you. That can be very, very helpful, especially after you've written multiple drafts. So again, making sure it continues to be accurate, personal, and professional as you go through, and making sure that you have a balanced mix of your past, present, and future, so they get a good idea of who you are and your goals. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that if you have a resume, many students will try to just repeat the resume in the statement. So they'll try to list all of their experiences, all the experiences they've ever had in that statement. That's not really what it's about. The statement is about giving meaning to your resume. So you're not going to be repeating your resume. You may just take a few key experiences that really influenced you, or that really allowed you to get inspiration to go into a particular field or into graduate school, and just choose those and focus on those. So again, you're not repeating your entire resume in the statement. You're just giving meaning to the resume. Just choose a few key experiences that you may have had and focus on those. So in the mind of the review committee, again, the review committee is going to be made up of admissions committee members, as well as faculty and professors. So again, ultimately, the personal statement should reflect you. They should be able to kind of hear your voice, hear your unique story. Everybody has a unique story in terms of why they want to go to graduate school, why they want to continue learning. So really focusing on that. So again, writing clearly, as concise and as clear as you can. Certain programs may get hundreds of applications, so they may be reading your essay very quickly. They may be skimming it. So really important to make sure that your essay is very concise and clear, so that they can, quickly read it if they have to. Again, it's usually just going to be 1 to 2 pages, so it's not a lot of room to list everything that you may want to write about. So again, just choosing, like I said, those key experiences, those key pieces of information that allow the committee to see who you are and what your goals are for the future. There are some students who, again, take time to write about certain faculty members that they would like to work with. That's wonderful if you want to do that. I would say don't spend the entire essay talking about the merits of the program or the faculty that, you may want to work with, or their research. They want to hear about you. That's kind of, again, the purpose of the personal statement, is to hear more about you. And again, your unique story. So again, definitely okay to mention some of the research that the university is doing. That shows that you've done the research on the university. That shows that you are interested in the university. But again, just making sure that there is a balance with that. And then do's and don'ts, things to consider. So we kind of talked about not listing all of your achievements that are already present on your resume or CV. So don't list them all in that personal statement. You're not going to have time or room. So just highlight a few of the most relevant experiences. Again, using that clear and concise language, briefly mentioning your history and motivation if comfortable, but again, talking about your goals, your qualifications, things like that. So it's going to be the main kind of theme of this is just to make it balanced. So you're going to have a balance of a lot of different elements. And again, just making sure that you're kind of focusing a little bit on each, plus writing kind of concisely and clearly as you're going through. I think the biggest mistake that I see most students make when they are writing this essay is that they send, if they're applying to multiple universities, they send the same personal statement to each university. Obviously, each personal statement that you send to a university, it's going to be similar because it's talking about your experiences, but they will not mention the university's name. They won't go into the reasons why they're choosing the university. It's just the same personal statement to every single school they apply to. So please make sure that you are tailoring each essay to reflect that you have done a little research on the school that you're applying to. So don't just send the same one to every school. Try to make one unique to the school that you're applying to. So again, kind of going off of that writing vague or kind of generalized personal statements, you really want to make sure that you are highlighting, obviously, your own personal experiences, but also why you're choosing that particular school, why you have done this kind of in an intentional way, and that you've done your research on that particular program. You will likely not use your first draft, definitely, or your second or third draft. So it's okay if you go through multiple kind of copies of this essay. So what may happen is that you just may need to start the application a little earlier. For international students, I highly recommend that just in general so that you have time to, again, get your essay in, have it looked over, focus on the other requirements that may be a part of the application process, because it's not just the personal statement. You may have to submit your resume, you may have to submit a writing sample, that sort of thing. So again, give yourself as much time as possible to work on this. If you want to start kind of an outline of a personal statement now before you begin applying to graduate schools, that's great. So if you just have something written down before you begin the process, that can be very, very helpful. So again, proofreading, revising, have someone else look at the essay before you send it in. Give yourself a little bit of time to go through this. It's not usually something you can do in a week or even maybe 2 weeks. It may just take a little bit more time. So that's why applying early is so very important, so that you have time to go through all this. I will go through a little bit different information now about my specific university. So this is just information if you are interested in learning more about the university that I represent, which is the University at Albany. It is part of the State University of New York, or the SUNY system. We are located about 2 hours north of New York City. We are a research university, so we have around 53 bachelor's or undergrad majors, and then over 150 different graduate programs. So there's lots to choose from. We have STEM designated programs, we have humanities programs. There's just a huge mix of things that we have. We do have funding opportunities available at the graduate level. We do have some scholarships that can apply to your tuition, as well as assistantships, and those are mainly to do with research. So again, if you're interested in doing research, we are a public research university, so it's a great place to be. We are ranked in one of the top colleges in the Northeast United States. And again, our graduates are highly sought after in industry, government, academia. So again, our programs really are focusing on a range of different topics, different careers. Some of them are very unique, and some of them are kind of the first of their kind in the nation. So definitely, if you are interested, you can take a look at our website. You can just look up the University at Albany Graduate School, and our information will come up. If you are interested in just getting more information, you can scan that little QR code and you can get more information. So if you would like to do that, you're more than welcome to. And then here is my information. Again, my name is Chloe. My colleague Soha Costa, she's also a contact for our University at Albany and our graduate school. So if you do have questions about our programs, you're welcome to reach out to either one of us. You can follow us on social media. And again, that little QR code there, if you want more information about our university, if you're interested in doing research, interested in learning more about the programs we offer, you welcome to fill that out and we can start sending you information.